BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right up to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the game's being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on the game of blackjack, poker, or unwind with one of our 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, on your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online, the game starts here. Please bet responsibly. All right, let's start this over. All right, podcast mode. Haven't been in podcast mode lately, so, I'm trying to get myself back into it, but, All right. Yo, Think This Podcast, episode 365. Obviously, this is a closet episode. This is our week away from the studio. Appreciate everybody who likes, subscribe, share this podcast. Appreciate all the DMs, comments, etc., etc. I do want to start the podcast off by saying, I apologize for last week for not putting up a video. We did record a podcast episode, and it's on all podcast audio platforms. And typically, I would put the audio on YouTube as well for those who still just use podcasts as their listening. Use YouTube as their listening platform for most podcasts. But, what happened was, and it was a miscommunication between George and I. It was more my fault. And this has happened plenty of time doing this podcast. If you've watched or listened or followed this podcast many times, it doesn't matter how many episodes we've done or do. We still make mistakes here and there. But I am a perfectionist may not be a strong enough word. I am a legit perfectionist. The slightest thing can throw me off and ruin an entire podcast episode for me, whether it's big or small. And George knows it. George has tried many times to pull me out of those holes, and I can't get out of it, But we did record a great episode last week. Shout out to Don and Yuri for coming through. I apologize to them as well. Part of the podcast, what makes this podcast great is the video aspect of it, to see our emotions and things like that. So they'll be back in studio. Probably, I'll probably see if they can come back the next week. I owe them another episode and give their takes on a lot of the stuff that I'll probably be talking about today, but hear them additional opinions about them. But what happened is that we did record video. I didn't turn the camera on, and I thought George did. And then, how my cameras are set up, they're older cameras. I don't have a flip screen. I don't have anything to look to make sure that they're recording. So once they're going, it's really hard from where we're sitting to even know if they're actually recording. My cameras don't have a light. There's no red light blinking. There's nothing to tell if it's being recorded or not, except for getting out of your seat and looking at the screen on the back side of the camera. I apologize. It's morning here. Happy 4th of July, so I'm drinking my coffee. And when the podcast ended, realized George's camera was never on. Now, typically that's happened before, and I would just put in a picture of myself or whomever camera wasn't on. We just make it work, and I would post it and just suck it up and deal with it. But this episode I thought was really, really good. And when I started editing the video, we were looking at George so much that it just annoyed me. So it was like us just looking into a blank space, and it just annoyed the heck out of me. Now, if we didn't have so much movement and look and conversation towards George, then I would have posted it, because then it would have been sort of like how other podcasts have it, another additional voice of the podcast that's sort of in the background. For example, Parks on Joe Budden. There's additional voices that talk on the podcast, but there's not a lot of action to look at them. So it was so much interaction between all of us on the show and looking at George that it was just we just kept looking at this. It would have been a blank space on the video, and I just found it so annoying and aggravating. And I think it just worked myself up so much that I was like, man, forget this. I'm not posting this. It annoyed me. It annoyed me that much, and that's how much of a perfectionist I am. I want nothing but the best for my podcast. I want nothing but the best for other people's podcasts. And if you've created anything ever in your life, you understand how that is. Now, typically when you create stuff from the beginning, hey, you understand growing pains. But we're on episode 365, and mistakes like that drive me nuts. And it drives me nuts to the point to where I go, if I am not responsible or on point of it like that, that means I have too much in my life going on to stay focused on the little things with regards to the podcast. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I worked my way out of it. I wasn't gonna record this week because one, it is 4th of July week, and two, I almost felt a little like selfish, like dang, I'm gonna make sure that this one is on point, but I couldn't do it the last week. But I'm gonna see if Don and Yuri could come back next week, and we'll have an episode. And some of the things that I'll talk about today will probably be talked about again that episode, just to hear their opinions and views on it and thoughts on it. And then there'll obviously be new topics and stuff like that to come up that way. We'll have another fire top 10 list for that episode. So I always love having Don and Yuri on for top 10 lists. They give good point perspectives, and they're naturally funny and stuff like that. So shout out to them, man. How does this usually work? Oh, pickups. I don't know why. I feel like every time I do an episode, I'm just like, now what? Oh, pickups. So I have quite a few pickups today. I have more pickups than I'm going to show, but typically when I do a closet episode, I like to unbox and show stuff that I've bought. Um, um, Sorry, my wife is texting me. She's doing a Target drive up pickup, and uh, she's asking me stuff because I had some stuff to be picked up podcast. I'm at Target, so sorry about that. Um, So typically I like to show things that I've bought and picked up. I talked about it last week. I had a few pair of Vans. You know what's funny is those Vans that I ordered, I thought I ordered them from the UK. Them joints came from Israel or something. So I was like, holy crap. Like, I'm like, ain't they busy over there right now? But, them joints came from Israel. So took a minute to get them, but it was a few pair of Kenzo Vans. It was other colorways that I didn't have. And they were just at a great price. The great price was probably because they were so far in Israel, and I don't really think they understood or care at this point in time what they were. So, and then it was a couple pair of Sambas that I had got. Um, and what else? I don't know. It may have been something else additional. But I did get a bunch of other stuff, and I'm gonna show it right now. One of the things I'm gonna show is something that I forgot to bring at the last podcast episode, and I'm gonna show it here. Um, it may be a little bit difficult on showing it for those who watch the video, because like I said, it's an extremely big box. So, um, I'm gonna go ahead and show a few of my pickups real quick. So shout out to the homie, man. For those who are on Twitter, I always post box day. George and I talk about getting a box. Getting a box. Um, and this box was just basically a messy box. It was just full of all Adidas Messies and Messi jerseys and stuff like that. My son is a huge Messi fan and is a phenomenal soccer player. And as a father, you enjoy your child having one of those athletes that they do look up to, they admire to be, that they pushes them a little bit harder in their sport or anything that they want to do. And Messi is that player for my son. So anything Messi related that I can get that I like or that I feel would look good on him, I always buy him. So shout out to the homie, man. I'm not gonna say his name, but shout out to the homie for hooking us up with all the Adidas Messi stuff and the jerseys and whatnot. So I got, and we had multiple pairs of other colorways, but I'm just gonna show this colorway. So it is the Messi Samba Enter Miami. This is the pink pair. So, and I made sure I'm gonna make sure that I say what I'm opening up for those who are listening in their vehicle, for those watching for those who aren't watching on YouTube because they don't get to see it. And I've had complaints before, like, bro, can you talk about what you're opening? You're just showing it for the YouTube people. But phenomenal materials. The leather's good. I like the pink. It's a Samba. Has the Messi logo on the tongue, which is a nice touch. Some Messi pairs, not this one, but other previous Sambas had, like, instead of Samba and Messi on the side. But the leather is really good on this. I don't think I've ever come across a Samba that I thought had bad leather, so I don't know if that's really an emphasis to make about this pair, but the pink is good. It's just a really good looking shoe. You know what I mean? Like, I can't say enough about it. It's just a pink, nice casual shoe, something dope for the summer, something dope to wear all year long. But I'm definitely rocking this in the summer. I don't wear a lot of shorts, but I've been trying to lately. It's been hotter than I don't know what out here. Um, but these are good. I recommend this pair to everybody, and they're super under retail. You can get them on StockX, Go, everything like that for under retail for majority of the sizes, at least around size 9 through 10, maybe even 11. I seen them for $79. I think they retail for 100. So got the nice suede on the toe box. So I'll definitely be wearing these immediately. I think I got, oh shoot, yeah, I got more than one pair. The pink pair. Also got the alternate jersey colorway for Miami, and I think we even got a few black pairs. I'm not sure. So shout out to homie for those, man. I really, 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 really appreciate it. Next I got the Bad Bunny Gazelle Indoor. This is the blue pair, the San Juan that we talked about. You know, when it comes to Bad Bunny and stuff like that, they put a lot more effort into his stuff, and I mean like the box and everything. The box is dope. It's your classic Adidas blue box, you know, which, you know, I'm gonna take the headphones off. I'm just getting really hot wearing them. I think I trust my audio at the very least enough, and you know, hey, hopefully I'm not sweating too much in this episode if you're watching on video, but man, it is hot in this closet. The AC is blasting, but when this light is in your face, it is hot and it is bright. But like I said, Adidas, they put forth maximum effort when it comes to Bad Bunny boxes and packaging and stuff like that. So this is the Bad Bunny, the Gazelle Indoor San Juan, the blue pair. I don't know if the white pair is already out or coming out, but I saw it on StockX and Go, and I was like, oh shoot, I will be copping that. Like, I need to get my hands on that ASAP. But it got a little laminate sticker right here. It says part of San Juan. On the front of the box, it says Adidas, part of Bad Bunny. I like the perforated Adidas right here. I think that's a dope little touch. It's just cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this pair. I already looked at them, and you're not going. Well, let me just kind of get into the box real quick. So, comes with like a little, I don't know what this material is. It's not nylon. It's like, gosh, you know, we've seen this material a lot. You know, you got like a little Bad Bunny bag, I guess. You know, when you get a lot of stuff like this, you know, I've been buying sneakers since I was 4th grade, like on a consistent basis. Like, I've never not had more sneakers than everybody else at school growing up. And, you know, as you got older, the boxes got better, a little additional gifts here, and briefcases with 17s and etc., etc. I don't know if anybody actually uses this stuff, like these bags and things like that. I don't know what this material is called. It's like a cross between cotton, cardboard, regular paper, newspaper. It's just a really thing, but it's a nice little touch. You know, nobody ever argues additional things that they get in the box. You know, it may be 100% completely useless, but nobody ever argues against it. And here's the deal. I've already looked at these. Sorry, it is hot in here. I'm not even gonna have the conversation about Adidas of the year. This is Adidas of the year. Period. But this is, to me, sneaker of the year. The blue is just beautiful. Now, this isn't the first time this blue has been used on an Adidas sneaker. And what I mean by an Adidas sneaker, I mean a Speezo, a Handball, a Gazelle, a Samba. This isn't the first time. You can go to a store that sells a heavy amount of these type of Adidas, and you will find the pair with the blue. Even Nike has a couple Blazer Lows that use this blue. This sneaker quality is ridiculous. Now, like I said, I've never come across a Gazelle or a Samba or a Handball or a Spiz, whatever. I've never come across any of those and thought, these materials are awful. The suede on this got that nappy type suede that's raised. The toe box is cool with the little design and cut out from the toe box. The bottom is thick. I like the way the gum is raised up over the stripes. These remind me of like the Gucci Adidas collaborations. This right here is on par with those. The double tongue. Oh, shite. Oh, shite. I didn't even know it did that. Hold on now. What the? Wait a minute. Oh, okay. So, breaking news. The double tongue, had no idea, hadn't seen it online, haven't heard anybody talk about it. The double tongue snaps off. So there's two tongues under here. It snaps off. Genuine leather. All right. I'm talking about that Wilson's leather jacket you see in the mall. It snaps off, and this one is connected to the laces, so I can't pull it out. But you can pull out this top tongue and have the Adidas blue logo on here. I hope I'm doing a good job of showing this on video. This isn't my forte, is unboxing sneakers, but I didn't know that. That's a cool little touch. Even if I wanted to unsnap it, leave it connected to the laces, I could just bend the tongue down like an OG Samba and just walk around with the tongue bent down. Oh, I'm killing these this summer. These are stupid. Now, I had originally doubled up on these, and shout out to the homie that tried to get me the other pair, but politics, things happen. Oh, I'm getting another pair of these now. Because I was like, you know what? You couldn't get me another pair. Don't even worry about it. I ain't tripping about it. Oh, I'll be hitting him up to ask if he could get me another pair of these. If you didn't buy these, go buy them. You see these on Go and you've been considering and you've been thinking about it, go buy these. These are sneaker of the year to me. Don't come to me talking about, well, maybe Adidas of the year. No, sneaker of the year to me. These are stupid fire. And it got the thick rope laces that look like rope like from a ship. Like, these is fire. Oh, no, the suede, come on, man. Got the 3 stripes Bad Bunny on the insole, and that ain't like a big thing to me, but like, it is what it got. Come on, man. These are fire. These just got better. I love a sneaker that I can apply style to it based on the creation of the sneaker. The sneaker gives me additional things that I can do to create style for it. I'm not a super fan of sneakers. You cut away the material, tear off the material, rub off the material, all that. But I appreciate the people who put the effort to try to add additional style to it. I think of Lance Mountain Jordan 1s. I think of the Mac Attacks from Social, was it Social Status? Social Status. Mac Attacks that you could cut the material off, unveil other colors, other SBs and things like that. You rub off the swoosh, you rub off certain areas, pause, and they would unveil other colors, other patterns and things like that. This right here, being able to unsnap that, bend the tongue down, and create another style for this is fire. Sneaker of the year to me. Oh, these just got better. I'm getting the white pair. I buy a lot of nonsense. Me and George have had our text messaging back and forth throughout the week. You know, we got hundreds of threads that we're all involved in. I know you do as well. But when me and George talk back and forth, and we started talking about the attachment to things that we just can't let go. See, this right here, I ain't letting this go. This is me. This is my style. Super baggy pants, super short shorts, long shorts, short shorts, baggy pants, long pants, whatever. These are me. These are stupid fire. Come on, man. See, that's what Adidas needs to focus on. Adidas needs to focus on what they have, how to make it better. You don't gotta jump out the window with design change. How to make it a little bit better and how to make it to where it goes. I have the original pair, but what would make me buy an updated This is fire to me. Man, I almost want to oh no, breaking news. Oh no. Sneaker of the year. Adidas killed this. Okay, no. I just looked through the box. When I buy sneakers, I don't open boxes. I look at the shoe and go, okay, and it goes to the closet. That's facts. I am finding out better things about this Bad Bunny sneaker live while I'm recording this podcast. Oh no. Oh my God. It comes with 2 additional insoles. What are we talking about here? Sneaker of the year. Leave me alone. Fam, 2 additional insoles with a thicker. Look at that. I'm about to be walking light on these. Oh no. Don't come talking to me about nothing else. Don't come talking to me about no Reimagine 4. Beautiful sneaker. Love it. Don't come talking to me about nothing else with regards to sneaker of the year. You may come to me and I will listen. I will listen for the Action Bronson 1904, whatever model that is. I will listen because I do like that a lot. But no, we're not doing this. a sneaker, a Bad Bunny sneaker that you can make better, that you can style a certain way. You can add a little flair to it. Oh, look at that. Pulled it out for the cover. Don't do that to me. Great materials, great shoe. This is me. 2 insoles, thick. Rope laces, great box, and a bag. We're not doing this. We're not doing this year. Adidas killed this. Killed it. And let me tell you something. If you've actually listened to this podcast, you know how much I love Adidas. Always have. I love Adidas. Period. I love Adidas clothes over Nike clothes. I have an extensive Adidas collection. Stop. We're not going to do this, man. I'm not having this conversation right now. I got nothing to prove to nobody. But them right there killed it. We'll be buying another pair of blue, and we'll be buying 2 of the black, the white black pairs. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and sell one of these Nike basketballs and these things that I keep buying off of nostalgia purposes. See, I'm getting worked up. You know what? There's other topics that I'm going to talk about today that may get me worked up. If you don't like hearing Greg worked up, if you don't like hearing certain things of how I describe it and talk about it, man, go ahead and hit that stop button and go ahead and find you one of them other podcasts, man. Go find you another podcast today. Go find you another sneaker podcast today, because you may not want to hear my voice today, because I got a couple things to say. But that right there, low key, no joke. See, it's things like that Bad Bunny model, and those additional good touches. Not just touches to throw in the box, but additional touches of value. Those are the things that reinvigorate me in sneakers. Immediately, those little changes, those little things made me go, oh, I'm getting another pair of those. And I'm going to find the white and black pair. And I'm going to get 2 of those. That made me do that. Oh, this Kobe Bryant sneaker, love Kobe, RIP, great. But I have no place for it. Hey, man, let me go ahead and send this Kobe off to somebody. Find this Kobe a great home for somebody who can use it. These Bad Bunny Adidas and Sambas and Gazelles and stuff like that, that's me. Catch me in your local, at your local brunch. Those are the things that reinvigorate me in sneakers. Not this foolishness, not the internet, not you nerds on Twitter. Shut up with all the talking on Twitter. Shut up. Shut up! All this talking, true or false? Do you prefer the big swoosh on the Jordan Low or the little one? Huh? Shut up! Bro, if you walked in the store and saw this on the shelves, which one would you cop first? Shut up! Dramatic pause ended. Next. All right. For those who are watching on YouTube, for those who are listening in your vehicles, this either may be a lot of noise if you're listening to the vehicles. For those watching on YouTube, I will probably do an awful job of unboxing these, but go to your local YouTube search bar and type in Salehi Benberry Crocs Juniper and find an official unboxing review by somebody who does this on a regular basis, but it isn't me. I'm going to do my best to do this. This box is ridiculous big. So I'm going to move the microphone forward just a tad to give myself a little bit of space. That's how big this box is. So on the video, the audio, if it sounds a little bit like I got a little bit further, I apologize for that. I'll try to enhance it in those spaces, but this box is ridiculous. Beautiful boxing. All right. So let me go ahead and lift this up real quick. It's so big that it's going to probably cover the microphone, so my voice may sound muffled or it may not be. I don't know. Whatever. So, this is the Croc Juniper Salehi Benberry Crocs, okay? I don't even know if my face is in camera anymore, okay? This is the best way I can show this, okay? Love this. Now, like I've said before, boxes this big, it doesn't matter from what brand, they throw off the feng shui of my closet, okay? My closet is set up in a way for me and my mental health. It isn't set up for me to find stuff better. It isn't set up for access. It is set up for my mental health. So when I come in here, I at least look at it and feel somewhat good and not feel overwhelmed and like I'm about to throw up and have a panic attack. But this right here can throw off the feng shui of my closet. Look at this. This don't make no sense, but it's fire. Look how thick it is. Thick! Look at this. It almost looks like something from Chernobyl. All right? This looks like something that would come in a secret case from the government, and it must be handled with care. Okay? Lid off. Look at that. I don't know if you can see me because the light's probably bright. Lid off. This lid is gigantic. I'm going to put this gigantic box down for now, and I'm going to take out one of the shoes right here in the front of the box. You can't see. My face is probably covered. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but you can see the little tag, Salehe Bembury. Now, here's my gripe about this, okay? Wait a minute. This is a men's, oh, it's a men's 10. Okay. So when I went to the website to buy these, I went on his website, which is like Be a Sponge or something like that. I'm going to move the microphone back so it may get a little bit louder. I apologize for that if you got used to the audio being pushed. Anyways, I went to the website to buy the sneaker. I waited for it. I wanted it. When I said I wanted it, I wanted it. I'm going to do everything to get it. I do my best for things like that. When I put my voice and put my things like that on the internet and say, copped, need, will be buying. Oh, I might need that. I put forth effort into it. I try my best. I paid attention to it. I have my Twitter notifications on. I only have one notification on Twitter, and that's for soul links. That's because I am an addict and I'm a ridiculous human being. And anytime I come across a sneaker that's on sale or anything for my kids or wife or children or things like that, then I like to be notified immediately so I can cop. Some may call it, what's it called? FOMA, fear of missing out, FOMO, whatever it's called. That's not the case with me because I don't care. I don't know. I may be just rambling right now. My coffee is making me a little bit hot, and maybe my energy is a little hyper right now because I am drinking this Nespresso. I got an Nespresso machine for Father's Day. It's one of the best things I've ever gotten in my entire life. Shout out to my wife. I love my wife to death. You know, me and my wife been married for a long time, and there's just no better person in the world for me, and I always hope that for other people. What am I talking about? Okay. Let me just take a sip of coffee. Okay. I'm gonna take out one of these shoes. When I had initially unboxed the sneakers, well, actually, I'll take out this little envelope thingy first. I think this was connected to the sneakers. I don't know. I may have ripped it off. It's like a little bit of a postcard, with the shoe on it. I don't know, some tags on it, some Croc identification tags, Salehe Bembury times Juniper. It says the Crocs Juniper by Salehe Bembury, Crocs Pollux Pod Makers Union, designed and tested in Broomfield, Colorado. Mind your comfort, mind your mind. The outdoors is yours. Okay, I guess they're trying to say this is an outdoor sneaker or an outside sneaker. I don't know, but if I see you climbing a mountain or hiking in these, I may stop you. I may have questions. Okay. When I did the original boxing, when these came out of the house, and I typically don't do things like that because I really don't care when I get stuff. Um, I took it out of the box and I said, this is heavier than any Jordan I've held in the last 5 years. I may be even to argue any Jordan I've held in the last 10 years. This is heavier than a Jordan 4, maybe comparable in weight to a Jordan 5, maybe heavier than a Jordan 5. When you go to the website and you buy a pair, which was absolutely annoying because, I love and I appreciate when a website tells you what they recommend you buy. If you're a 9.5, we recommend you go up a half size. If you're a 9, we recommend you going up a half size. If you're a 11, we recommend you going down a half size. I like when they give that to you. It said that if you're a half size, and maybe I read it wrong, or maybe I was just going too quick because I wanted to cop, but it said if you're a half size, go up a half size. So I'm a 9.5. I went up to a 10. That's the hard part about buying sneakers like these and from even independent brands. A lot of them don't do half sizes because it costs additional money to make the molds for a half size. So they stick to full sizes, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc. I bought a 10 in men's in this, right? Now, when I opened the box and I looked at these, I go, these are really big. Not just the sole, because the sole does make majority of the mass of this sneaker, but the sneaker itself is just really long and big. And I'm going to talk about other sneakers later on that is just, don't get into it yet, Greg. Just kind of bring yourself down. Don't get into it yet because it legit infuriated me, but I'm going to get into that topic a little bit later. You have to be mindful of your proportion of your foot to your leg in your body. You really, really do. Okay. Walking around with a shoe that may fit, but it's not appealing in the size that it is, can look ridiculous, right? I'm not tall. For those who listen to podcasts, I am a short person. Who those who know me in real life, I am short. I am shorter than the average person. I'm just a short person. All right, I got nothing for you. All right? Jesus Christ made me this way. Leave me alone. What do you want from me? All right. There's a lot of you that got issues and problems with you that God didn't make. All right. Fix those. Don't worry about me. All right. I'm sorry, was that mean? I think it's the coffee. I think the coffee has me extremely hyper. Like the heck. Um I think it's a decent looking shoe. I do like the embellishments of the sole. I do like the material. It's definitely one of those materials you clean easy, you wet. If they made this to be outdoors and hiking and stuff like that, it's got all the right pieces and stuff for that. Comfort, it has the comfort of a Croc. It has a more rugged outsole to get over those things and whatnot. And like I said, it's a more of a all-purpose type sneaker and all-purpose materials. Now, I don't know if laces are necessary on a shoe like this, but I feel like laces add a different visual aesthetic to it. I feel like if you didn't have laces to it, it would make it 100% unpalatable. I feel like the laces add something to it that's like, okay, I'll give this a shot. It looks okay. Has a little Croc, little hook thingy insignia on it. Says Crocs Salehi Benberry on it. The brown tongue, Crocs Salehi Benberry Juniper on the tongue, and then like your traditional bottom Crocs outsole and a Salehi Crocs outsole. I mean, not a regular Crocs outsole. Um, and you know what? I'm gonna save something I was about to say right now for next week when we talk about it because a lot of people kind of gave me a little bit of heat on Twitter from a response to a question that somebody posted, and I feel like Crocs is a prime example of that. So, I will talk about that next week. I'll save that for if Don or Yuri or whomever could come back for the next week's episode. Okay. Um. Now here's the thing. I took the advice of the website. The website said go up a half size. These are way too big for me. Way too big. I may be able to get these off with a boot sock. If you don't know what a boot sock is, it's more of a thicker sock that you typically wear with boots. A lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with it, but boots are generally a little bit bigger and roomier than your average sneaker. Wearing your regular, I'm just gonna say a Nike athletic sock with a boot just really doesn't go right. Your foot will have a lot of movement around it. A actual boot sock, tighter fit, your foot gets a little bit more hot and sweaty in a boot. Thicker. It's a lot of that. I would have to wear that with these. Now I haven't decided on what I'm gonna do with these yet. I haven't decided if I'm just going to be the person I've been for the last 5 years and just buy a lot of nonsense and it sits in my closet and I could say I have that. I have a pair of that. Oh yeah, I got the OG pair. Oh yeah, I got them. I could continue to be that person, or I could reach out to one of the homies who maybe wanted them and sell it to them. But if you're not a size 11, or 10 and a half, this size 10 won't fit you. I may sell it on StockX or Goat or whatever for additional. It's not going for much. Retail on this was 170. I think on Goat right now they're like 200. So it ain't like I'd be making a stupid amount of profit. And in that situation, then I would rather sell it to a homie or somebody that I know. But don't get it twisted. If these joints were back to 300 and 400, they'd be sold on there. Um, I really don't know what to say about these because I do appreciate the presentation. I do appreciate having a pair, and I don't know anybody else who has a pair, copped a pair, or even knew they were releasing. But it's one of those sneakers that I feel like in my um where I am with sneakers, I'm at a probably a more irresponsible stage of sneakers in my life right now where it's just like I'm just trying things out, or I just want things, or I just want to see, or I just want to think about it. I kind of view that. And shout out to the homie, man. I can't remember his name. He sent me a DM. Not Neil? I don't remember, man. Shout out to you. Listen to the podcast. I appreciate you. He had reached out to me and sent me a DM and asked me that I want to buy his pair of Nina Chanel Jordan 3s that he bought from her website at retail. And he asked me that I want them. And I was like, no, but that's one of those pairs that I use as an example of like, maybe I'll try it out. Different materials, something different. And then you typically get something like that in hand and you go, they okay. And you find a nice little spot in the closet to put them in. That's sort of how I see these, and that's where a lot of my sneaker buying and things like that have sort of gone at this point. It's where it's like, I'll give that a shot. I'll try it out. I'll see about it. Sorry, you may hear a little boom because I'm about to drop this on the ground. So, um, but anyway, so that's my pickups this week. I had the Messy Samba, I had the Bad Bunny Gazelle, and I had the Salehi Benberry Crocs Juniper pair. Shout out to all of them. Shout out to the homies who helped me get these pairs. Shout out to myself for actually getting these pairs and being a responsible human being to be able to buy these pairs. Releases this week. So not a lot this week. It's 4th of July weekend. Typically during this time, which is crazy. You'd have a United States of America pack. You'd have these America packs. You'd have a lot of these packs that, would be for America, Um, but things like that just don't exist anymore. We even have the Olympics coming up. Now, I know they're probably more preparing for like their Olympic colorways. They're going to be dropping soon. The Olympics start at the end of July. Um, and they're probably more like, okay, we'll release our USA red, white, and blue patriotic stuff during then, which I completely understand. So not a lot of sneakers releasing this week. I'll go through this list, which I appreciate because I really don't feel like going through a lot of these. But so we got, it looks like today Kith dropped their New Balance RC 1300 Malibus. Kith is opening a store in Malibu, so whenever Kith opens a store in Malibu, you could always expect some Malibu exclusive type gear. I think they had a few T-shirts, some hoodies, things like that. Knowing them, probably a surfboard, probably a bicycle. Who knows with Kith? Kith is up there with the upper echelon of like fashion and stuff like that. It may not get the credit like that, probably with speaking and talking to with other fashion houses, but like Kith is up there. Kith is like a streetwear luxury brand, ALD, Kith, things like that. And I love Kith. People who know that, I'm going to talk about store experience in a little bit, because this weekend was it just blew my mind. But store experience matters. You know what I mean? And I'll get into that a little bit later. But they also released a New Balance 580. 580 is one of those models that like I have a love-hate relationship. It's a 580 Malibu. I'm not a fan of these colorways they use for Malibu. Malibu, if you're familiar with California, it's beautiful. Malibu is like I don't know if it still holds that statue of like, you know, I don't know, like of certain tax bracket land. Don't get me twisted. It's still expensive. Like it is, top tier expensive. But I mean, like, there's other areas in California that have like, become more synonymous with like a lot of celebrities and things like that. A lot of your classic OG celebrities have a lot of properties in Malibu and homes and stuff like that. And maybe some of the new ones too. I don't know. I'm not that in touch with who lives where and who knows what. But the colorways they chose for these New Balances just does not make me think of Malibu. I would have expected some type of blue, green, sky. Looks like all sand. So I don't know. These are okay. 580s, like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with 580s. I believe Burn Rubber had did the blue collar, white collar pack, and I think it was a 580. I had the blue collar pair. I don't know. I never wore them. It was the bulkiness of them, and I think even my Staples Pigeon, I think it was a 580 as well. I could be wrong on this, and please correct me. It's okay. Like, don't get on here like, bro, you're wrong. Just, I don't know. I'm thinking off the top of my head. I've been doing this for a really long time, okay? I just couldn't get into the model. It didn't matter how fire I thought it was in hand. It didn't matter, anything like that. That's what a lot of people seem to like, can't sometimes grasp when it comes to sneakers. Yes. Yes, in hand, this is fire. On paper, man, that looks good. But on foot, and when you really try, it's not. You can say that sneaker's fire, but it just doesn't look good on you. You can do that. We got a um Luca 3. George brought it up last podcast. Had zero idea the Luca 3 was coming out. Now, me and George seen pictures of the Luca 3 quite some time ago. Okay. Um, I will tell you guys that George and I do get access and see a lot of things. Like, we already know what the next LeBron looks like, and I think the LeBron after that. Like, we've already seen pictures and silhouettes and things like that and color codes and stuff like for this is facts. This isn't me flexing or me talking. This is facts. George and I know seen the Ja 2 already. We've seen the Tatum 3 and 4. This is facts. Luca 3, it's not a far cry from the first two silhouettes. It's fine. The issue that Luca has that it didn't have with the Luca 1. Luca 1, fire colorways, fire shoe. Luca 2, decent shoe, but the colorways made you appreciate the shoe more or hated the shoe more. This Luca 3, this first colorway called Midnight Racer, it will make you look at it and go, I don't like this. Lucas need to stick to one colorway, like your basic, like, not patterns. Patterns ruin a sneaker. The Tatum 2 is being ruined by patterns. Great shoe. Just stick to your colors. It don't gotta be patterns. It don't gotta be streaks on it. It don't gotta be lines on it. It don't gotta be all that. Stick to your colors. But the Luca 3 is coming out. Don't know who's interested for it, but I'm sure he'll be wearing those in the Olympics for Slovenia. I think he's Slovenia, not Serbian. Slovenia, yeah. We got the Donovan Mitchell Issue 6 Purple Burst. This is one of the sneakers that like was debuted during like All-Star weekend, and people were like, Adidas is killing it with the AE1 and the Damian Lillard, and they're trying. 100% agree. They're trying. They're putting forth the effort into it. Sip of coffee. I don't know if any model, any of this issue 6 ever came out during the regular season for Donovan Mitchell. I can't remember. I could be right. I could be wrong. I don't know. But we're not looking for this now. Like, we're not looking for this now. We're not looking for this ever. It don't matter if Adidas comes out with 5 great basketball sneakers. Majority of the people that play basketball are going to select one. I talked about it last episode. Anthony Edwards are fine. Good looking shoe. Appreciate the effort. Like it. But what makes the Anthony Edwards is Anthony Edwards. If that Anthony Edwards was the Trae Young, you wouldn't care. If that Anthony Edwards was the James Harden, you wouldn't care. But if the Harden was the Anthony Edwards, you'd care. You would. Let's just be honest. If the Trae Young sneaker was the Anthony Edwards sneaker, you'd go, oh, this joint is high. It is. Anthony Edwards makes the Anthony Edwards, the AE1 Adidas basketball sneaker, what it is, not just the shoe. And it's okay to admit that. I know you like it. I know you've overreacted to it. I've overreacted to it as well. I have a pair, and when I got the pair in hand, I was like, okay, like, oh, cool, it's fine, it's okay, it's all right. We also got a Lord. We got sorry, let me send a text message real quick. We have a Mellow Ball Puma MB3 Miami colorway. Look. Like I already said, I'm going to talk about shopping experience in a little bit. I went into a Foot Locker this weekend, and I went into the stores. I'm going to get into it, okay? But let me just say this. Puma is trying, and it's working. When I go see kids play basketball, when I see tournaments at the Avondale Sports Complex out here, that's where I see a lot of basketball games happen and take place whenever I'm in that building. A lot of kids are wearing Mellow Balls, period. They have personality. They have flair. They have look at me. That's what Mellow Ball sneakers have. Look at me. Look at me. Look at what I'm wearing. Look at me. I'm flashy. It does. So they're perfect for the youth. But when you go into a store and you see a wall of Mellow Balls, it's like you're high on mushrooms or something, like it's acid or something. It's like you look at the wall and you're like, it's just so many colors and patterns, and you're like Like, and maybe it's just my 41-year-old eyes that look at that, and I mean, shoot, give me goddamn vertigo looking at the Puma wall. It's so many colors and patterns and things. I'm like this, like, ugh. But there's a Miami colorway. We got a Puma Suede XL Anwar Carrots collaboration. Looks like a scavenger hunt pair. There's two colorways to this. There's an orange and a white. It's fine. I think the XL of a suede is like, you got your like a skate type version, a bigger, more puffier, bigger version. You got your this week we also have the Asics Gel Terrain. I actually like this shoe a lot. I think it's a good looking shoe that you could wear casually. And if I was running around in mountains and desert and climbing up stuff, I would probably strongly consider buying these. These look like a really good sneaker. I'm not a fan of sneakers that have like abandoned your traditional shoelace and now have these like bungee cords as shoelaces and you just like pull the lace lock. Like what is it? Are people lazy? Like how lazy are you? You can't make the bunny ears and loop it anymore? Motherfuckers using lace locks and bungee cords to tie your shoe? Like what are you talking about? But it's a collaboration with Up There. I have no idea what that is. Could I research it on good old Google? Sure, but I'm not going to. Like, I'm sorry. I just don't feel like it's my responsibility to do a lot of this research on sneakers. These brands need it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about the additional work that I feel brands need to do. We also have, and this is the last one, the Air Max DNSE Persian Violet. Look, this Air Max DN came out during Air Max Day. I think that's when it debuted and released to the public this year. I don't have a problem with this sneaker whatsoever. Anytime I've seen this sneaker in public or seen it on foot or seen it on the shelves, I don't have a single bad thing to say about it. The problem is that like it's really hard for people who are connoisseurs or buyers of Air Maxes on a regular basis to really venture out into a new Air Max model. One, because Nike doesn't let it last, doesn't let it marinate, doesn't let it um build a home within the community. Nike is like, let's throw this out here. It didn't work. Get rid of it. There's been so many different models of Air Maxes and stuff that come out every single year, and you're like, it's okay. I don't know. Maybe that iteration and version didn't work for it, but you got to kind of keep it going. I want to see an Air Max DN 2024, a DN 2025. Like you got to keep it going in order for it to get better, in order to build a foundation and a home in the sneaker community, in the lifestyle casual community, in the just regular consumer community. Period. And that's just the opinions of somebody who knows nothing. Okay. All right, so that's releases. So, like I said, I appreciate everybody who likes, subscribe, share this podcast. Appreciate everybody who's been holding down the podcast and rocking with us since episode 1. Like I said, this is episode 365. Appreciate those who are out there doing their thing, creating their own content. People at work, in that cubicle, working that blue collar job, driving that Uber, riding around in public transportation, just kicking it on the weekends with friends, just sitting on the couch in the house and watching us on YouTube, which is always a dope thing to see people with us on their TV, which is kind of crazy. But like I appreciate it, man. Shout out to all the homies, man. Shout out to George, that's my dog. Shout out to other podcasts. We're just the messengers, them the homies, Jones Hall podcast. Like and those aren't sneaker podcasts. Shout out to Fire Footwear Pod. That's my dog Matt. Shout out to my first Kicks Pod. Shout out to all the other sneaker podcasts. Shout out to Stock Jigs. Shout out to everybody, man. Like I'm not gonna get into it, but cats, try to create this competition. But I was there. I've already done it. I ain't got no animosity or nothing towards any of you. I will challenge and I will make fun of things you say here and there, but I got no problem with you cats. Like, just whatever, bro. Like, keep doing your thing. All right. All right. So, man, where do I begin with this? All right. All right. All right. I'm gonna try to stay calm for this one. All right. So, dramatic pause. And dramatic pause. Shout out to Ruby. Okay, Ruby is just she's one. I can't say enough about Ruby. Like, me and her talk about work issues, work stuff, sneakers. She is just such a really good friend in person. You know what I mean? When me and my wife went to Oregon, I love that they got to talk and hang out and things like that. You know what I mean? Because Ruby is somebody that I do genuinely care about and appreciate as a person. And anybody in my life, I always want my wife to build some type of, something with them, connection and whatnot, just so, my wife and they understand, you know, the relationship that I have with other people. Ruby sends me all like the financial stuff with, she's very into sneaker news and the like ins of sneakers. And shout out to African Caesar too from the Sneaker Box podcast, because that's one thing that he always likes to emphasize on is like the additional things, not just what's coming out, not just what's fire, not just sneaker news, but like the ins and outs of the business and stuff like that. And Ruby is somebody who always does that. She keeps me on top of that. Things that I'm not going to look up. I'm not researching. I am your average sneakerhead person. I am man that kicks it with the homies and be like, yo, them suck. Yo, them is aight. Them is fire. I got my sneaker knowledge. I got thousands of sneaker stories. I got a lot of history of sneakers, but I'm not sitting around like, well, the stock is down by. That's not my thing. I read it, I pay attention to it, but I don't care to discuss it on a heavier point, especially if I ain't getting money from them. So it ain't gonna be none of my thing. And especially when you're talking about, people like, oh, the stock is down with Nike. They only made 19 billion. What? Well, Ruby put me on to an article about On sneakers, okay, which is ironic that she sent this to me. So let me, first of all, I had no idea these sneakers were called On. It looks like the word On, but I don't know what I thought they were called. Only thing I have any association to with On sneakers is that this is Roger Federer's brand or signature line, something with Roger Federer. That's all I have for this. All I know is that these are sneakers I am not yet in a part of my life of buying. Now, Ruby let me know that Zendaya is a part of On brand company, something I don't know. Had no idea. She was explaining to me how people like Zendaya's, how she dresses, and her. No idea. I had no idea anybody looks at Zendaya and go like, "Boy, her fashion is on point." Thought they look at her as a beautiful young lady who was doing her thing and a great actress, and she just seems really, really nice. Um, but let me just kind of talk about this a little bit because I noticed it going to the mall this week, and I noticed it when I'm just out in public with my kids. All right, I'm going to try not to get too worked up about this. And it may seem extremely ridiculous to get worked up about this, but it's just part of the times changing. It's like, huh? Shout out to Slick City. Slick City is like, one of those places you take a bunch of kids and they jump around and they slide and they do a bunch of stuff and it's in a big warehouse building. There's just a bunch of noise and fun for kids. All right. Costs you $1 trillion to come in here and you just have a blast. Slick City is a place out here that's relatively new, been out here for about a month or two. And it's just a big warehouse building full of different types of variations of slides. You get on a sack and you just slide. You just slide everywhere, right? And just kids screaming and having a blast, right? These are the type of places, your Urban Air, your Chuck E. Cheese, I don't know, whatever. Places like that where typically hire a lot of teenagers, right? You get your teenager. This is my first job, sir. Teenagers, right? I go to Slick City, right? I walk in with my daughter and her friend. We went before with my son, my wife, and all of us one time at first, but then I went back another time with just my daughter and her friend. And you go up to the counter, teenager, all of them are like 6 feet tall, it seems like now. It seems like every teenager is tall. And like I said, I'm sure everybody's tall, but these teenagers are tall. Okay. This young man come to the counter. Hello, sir. How can I help you? Yeah, let me get 2 summer passes, for my daughter and her friend. Oh, okay, sir. Have you been here before? You signed your waiver? Yeah, yes, I've done all that. Oh, okay. Do you have socks? You have to have Slick City socks. Okay. Yeah, give me the socks. All right, sir, that's an additional $4 for socks. Do I get a pack? No, it's not a pack. It's okay. All right, sir, that's $148 for 2 summer passes. All right. Is that unlimited sliding? Like if they come on the summer pass, they can do it all day, or is it still a time limit? No, sir. It's only 100. It's only 120 minutes of sliding on the summer pass. Okay. Here's my card. Hey man, hold on. What you got on your feet, bro? What are those? Oh, sir, these are Hokas. Huh? Hey, how old are you? Hold on. Those are Hoka. How old are you? I'm 16 going on 17, sir. You're 16 years old wearing Hokas? Now, at this point, I'm not trying to embarrass the young man. I'm sitting here wearing, shoot, I don't know what I was wearing. I don't know. Air Max 97s or something, golds, Olympic golds. Ooh, I'm pulling out those for the Olympics. And I go, 16? You wearing Hokas? Sir, I'm on my feet all day. It's for comfort. They're so comfortable. I, so I go, okay. Honestly, I was just like, wait a minute. 16 years old wearing Hokas? Like you're a teen? So then I just, whatever. They started sliding. I look around, anywhere between the age of 16 to 18, walking around wearing Hokas. Not one, not three, but at least 5 different teenagers walking around wearing Hokas. And I go, what? Then I see a couple young ladies, 16, 17, 2 guys, 17, 18, 19, wearing On sneakers. And I go, when did, and the fact that, like, when I asked him, his reasoning was for comfort. I'm old school. I'm an old man. And I would go, when did teenagers start sacrificing cool for comfort? It honestly made me sick to my stomach. Sick. I go, even if you may be what's considered cool today, you're not. Now I need you guys to listen to what I'm talking about. Teenagers. Teenagers are sacrificing cool for comfort, sir. These are comfort. My lower back hurts. Huh? You haven't used your feet enough or your lower back enough to be shopping for comfort. When we all got our first jobs, if we had to be on our feet, you had your Chuck Taylors, you had an Air Max, you had something. None of them were comfortable. Your body has to be used enough before you start shopping for comfort. Teenagers shopping for comfort? What? Nobody was in there wearing a Dunk, a Samba, a Jordan 1, Air Max 1, 95, 97, 2013, any Air Max. I saw a lot of beat Air Force Ones. Beat isn't even the word anymore. I'm pretty confident they're getting these out of the garbage. On sneaker, Hokas, and just weird stuff. Dramatic pause. In dramatic pause. We go to the mall this weekend after going to brunch with a great friend of mine. Love her family, love her daughter, her husband, love them. After we go to brunch, we go to Scottsdale Mall. For those who aren't familiar with Arizona, Scottsdale Fashion Square is like our luxury mall. All right. It's got your Gucci, it got all that stuff in it. All right. That's our luxury mall with all the luxury stuff under one roof. Okay. My wife is in Nordstrom's doing her thing. You know what I mean? She talking to her stylist, personal shopper, whomever, and personal shopper. That's who she was talking to. Whatever. I don't know. Me and my son, hey, let's go use the bathroom real quick. Let's go hit the Foot Locker. Let's go walk around. Now, I didn't know how long my wife was going to be, so I was like, well, let's go to the Foot Locker. And, if we got time, maybe we'll go around and go to some of the other sneaker shops. Okay? Sneaker stores, not shops, stores. Okay? We're walking. We're walking in the mall, me and my son. All right? I see a group of young men, bunch of tall, strapping young men with little shorts. First of all, it was four of them. Two were wearing Hokas. Teenagers are sacrificing cool for comfort. One of them was wearing a Pop Smoke t-shirt and Hokas. Kill me now. Wearing a Pop Smoke t-shirt and Hokas. I need you to listen to me, distant cousins, all right? We've always talked about having a name for the podcast for our listeners. I remember somebody said disciples. We're family. You're distant cousins. You are our distant cousins. I need you to listen to me, people who listen to this ridiculous show. Pop Smoke is rolling over in his grave. Wearing a Pop Smoke t-shirt and Hokas is insane as a teenager. I need you to listen again to me. I'm not talking to you 25 to 30-year-old. I'm not talking to you 30 to 35-year-old. I'm not talking to you to 35 to 40 and up year old. Wear your Hokas. You've used your feet. You've used your lower back. This is nothing against Hokas. This is nothing against On Brand. The shoes are fine. But teenagers, 13 to 19, wearing Hokas and Ons, what are we talking about here? I can't. What has happened? This ain't even got nothing to do with a sneaker culture thing. I mean, although it may have some point to do with it. The sneaker culture has zero influence on any of these youth. Zero. I'm talking about the culture of sneakers. The community of sneakers has no influence on the youth. Your endorser of a sneaker may influence them. A Travis Scott can influence the youth. Your I don't know, whoever else is young that has a sneaker. Teenagers are sacrificing cool for comfort. Oh, sir, I'm on my feet all day, so these are comfortable. Oh, it helps my lower back and my sciatic nerve. Huh? You're 16. What are you talking about? Sciatic nerve and lower back problems. What are you talking? Do you play sports? No, sir. Huh? You play no sports. Do you work on a construction site? Have you put in the work on your feet to where when you go shopping, you say no to that and yes to this for comfort? Are we there? The community ain't doing nothing, man. You're talking too much on Twitter. This is what's funny. Everybody doing all the talking on Twitter is in their like 30s and late 20s, just talking. But you ain't influencing anybody. Get some help. And this is me too, probably. I need to hold myself accountable. What's funny is I'm taking my son through the mall because we about to do a real sneaker lesson. I'm going to get to that though. I'm going to get to that discussion. We about to do a real sneaker lesson. When I go to the store with my son, this is facts. May sound crazy, may sound over the top, may sound ridiculous, but we go through the sneakers and we go, yes, no, no, yes, no, yes, no. Facts. We're going to talk about it in a second. Give me a second here. Teenagers, men, women, do not let your teen sacrifice any grain of cool for comfort. Do not bring your teenager to my house wearing a hoka. Hey, man, how you doing? Strapping young man, how are you doing? How you doing, sir? Hey, man, what's that on your feet? Oh, it's the hoka. It's the On Clouds. Oh, they're just so comfortable. Shut up. You ain't done enough with your feet to be looking for comfort. Shut up. I mean, do you even know what an Ultra Boost is? Sir, huh? Who makes that? Get out. Get out. Do you know what an Air Max 1 is? It ain't the most comfortable shoe, but like, it'll get you through the day, and it's at least cool. Is those Jordans? Get out. Get out. Let's talk about them all now. Now, it all ties together. It just ties together. Ties together. Like I said, me and my son are walking through Scottsdale Mall. We're going to go to the House of Hoops. We're going to go to Foot Locker, take a look, see what they got, whatnot. You know what I mean? It's one of those days where, like, you're just feeling good as a parent. You buy your kid everything on the planet already. But you know what? If he happens to find something that he really, really likes, yeah, go ahead and get it. One of those days, right? Because I'm pretty confident my wife is buying something for my daughter in Nordstrom's. That's just how it works. Buyer experience, okay? I'm talking about Foot Locker and House of Hoops in Arizona in Scottsdale Mall. I'm not talking about your Foot Locker. I'm not talking about your House of Hoops. I'm talking about the one here. Now, in my mind, they all model the same after each other. I don't know, but I'm talking about the one here, okay? Buyer experience, okay? Now, this may sound extremely petty. This may sound even stupid. It may not matter whatsoever, but me, I am a sneakerhead. I am an OG. I pay attention to everything with involved in the culture. I just don't sit on Twitter talking. I don't get on IG Live just talking. Yo, hey fam, did you guys ever notice how? Shut up. Shut up. Walk into House of Hoops part, right? House of Hoops is always connected to the Foot Locker, and then they have the wall in between that you can go to either one, right? Walk into the House of Hoops side. Now, look, I've been to this House of Hoops Foot Locker, no joke, minimum 1,000 times. Minimum 1,000. Okay? Minimum. If you are into sneakers and you are into sneakers as much as me and you live in the state of Arizona, you've been to that House of Hoops a minimum of 1,000 times as well. Period. Stop. Not 999, minimum 1,000. Okay? Walk into the House of Hoops. Here's the thing. When you walk into stores like this, you don't pay attention to the store. You just go straight to sneaker wall, straight to sneaker wall, straight to sneaker wall, back to that sneaker wall, that sneaker wall, that sneaker wall, back to this one, chill for a bit, back to that one. That's it. And then you go to Foot Locker and you go to that wall, that wall, that wall, that wall. You don't pay attention to the store, right? So we're in the store. Like I said, I'm taking my son to give him a lesson. Lesson, pay attention, son. Lesson, ask me your questions, son. Lesson. This is for like if you happen to be with your mom and you ask your mom for some shoes, you know what to buy and not what to buy. Because if you bring home something that I don't approve, it will go back. Now, we walk into a House of Hoops. I'm not paying attention. I never one time ever have I actually paid attention to the building, the store, the decor, anything in a House of Hoops or a Foot Locker. I just didn't care. Sneaker. That's all I cared about. We're in there. row of sneakers, row of sneakers, row of sneakers, row of sneakers, one wall. My son goes, all right, I'm going to point at them and you tell me which ones that I should be buying and what I can't buy. Let's do it. This, no. That, no. That, no. What about this? No. Why? Because it looks like it's trying to be a Jordan 6, but it's not. We buy the Jordan 6, which is right here. Okay. This, no, it's a mid. There's a high right here. We buy the high. This, no, not that version of a low. This version of a low. This is the OG silhouette, not this whatever silhouette. Okay, but why not? What does it make a difference? Because I said so, son. That's all that matters. That's all that matters because I said so. I need you to look at these closely and look at these and remember this. What about this? This Jason Kidd Flight 95? Yes. He picked up the Jason Kidd Flight 95, which is an OG classic basketball silhouette, one of the greatest basketball sneakers of all time, one of the greatest Nike basketball designs of all time. Period. Don't challenge me. Don't ask me a single question about it. Period. Flight 95s. Period. I have my OG pair. One of these boxes. And what's crazy is that like I probably should throw it in the trash, but I just won't. Because it's beat. I hooped in it. I'm getting hot. I'm getting sweaty in this closet in front of this light because I'm getting worked up about this. He picks up the Jason Kidd. I hold that. I explained it to him. I had this in the black, the blue, and the red. This is one of the greatest basketball sneakers of all time. I go, son, I'm not buying this now because I'm just not at that point in stage in my life to where I could be walking around with a sneaker that looks like this. But you, if you wanted this, I would buy it for you because in your size, it's still relative and it matches your aesthetic and style and you're still a kid. You know what I mean? As I'm holding this sneaker, I look up at the wall. I've never looked at the building, the decor, the wallpaper, nothing in any of these stores. Because they're just chains. When I go to a Kith, I'm like, wow. Whoa. You go to a bodega, you go to a Concepts, oh, this is beautiful. What is that? Crystal? I look on the wall. It's wallpaper, and it got Chris Paul in a Clippers uniform. And I go, what the? What? Chris Paul in a Clippers uniform? Wait a minute. I was done looking at sneakers. Now I'm looking at the store. I walk around. I see Russell Westbrook in an OKC jersey. I see DeMar DeRozan in a Raptors jersey. I see Blake Griffin in a Clippers jersey. This is the wallpaper, the decor. These are the graphics on the wall. I look over, immediately thought of the big boy meme. The big boy. I know that ain't who I think it is. I see Kawhi Leonard in a Spurs uniform. Huh? My shopping experience in the House of Hoops was over. Sounds petty. Sounds immature. Sounds ridiculous. But this is the House of Hoops, the home of hoops. And I just saw a wallpaper with Kawhi Leonard in a Spurs jersey, DeMar DeRozan in a Raptors jersey, Blake Griffin and Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook in a Thunder jersey, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, and Clippers jerseys. You don't care about my shopping experience. Dramatic pause ended. I was so thrown off by how outdated the store was. I had no interest in looking at any sneaker in there. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds petty. It sounds stupid. But that matters in this climate. That matters. And I'm going to get to why. And I've talked about these other stores and I'm going to tell you why. And by the way, it was empty. Now I'm on the House of Hoops side. Empty. Now let me say this one thing about this store though. The customer service is on point. I had never had so many sneaker employees come to me like, "Hey, how you doing, sir? You need some help?" They were on point in the Foot Locker. I will give them an A plus for that. All right, son. I'm literally in the store like this. Kawhi Leonard in a Spurs jersey. Where am I? A time machine? They don't even sell New Balance basketball sneakers in here. They got Kawhi Leonard when he was on Jordan Brand. Get me out of here. Walk over through the wall to Foot Locker, right? Oh boy. Again, so I walk to the Foot Locker, say, "Hey, how you doing, sir? You need some help? Hey, man, good to see you. Appreciate you coming in, sir. Yada, 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 yada. Thank you, sir. Hey, thank you, young man. Thank you. And I like your sneakers. What are those, Air Max 90s? I like those Air Max 90s on you, sir. How old are you? 18? I love those. Hokas, man. Soon as you walk in, ours is made to where when you walk through the wall to the Foot Locker side, it's like right by the register. I look by the register, all the Adidas was right there in the back. The back corner where a bathroom would probably be if they had bathrooms in this store. In the back. Hidden in the shadows. I go, ugh. Adidas. Ugh. So typically how the store is built that way, it makes sense because if you went through the wall and you ended up at the front of the Foot Locker, it wouldn't make sense because you could walk out of the House of Hoops and around inside. So I get it why it starts you at the back of the store because it's like you walk in the House of Hoops it's like a U. And you walk in. If you walked in Foot Locker, you go to the back and you walk out. So it's like they create a circle. You could kind of walk like that and around whatever. And I don't know if that translates, what I'm explaining. So I go to the very front of the store. Even though I came in at the backside due to how the building is structured, I go to the front of the Foot Locker. Then I work my way back through the Foot Locker, okay? I have the pictures. Right here in the graphics on the screen. You can see I took those with my cell phone. That's how appalled I was, okay? Now, I'm talking about Scottsdale's Foot Locker. I'm not talking about your Foot Locker in Manhattan or your Foot Locker in Miami, your Foot Locker in Dallas. I'm talking about ours. I don't know how yours is set up, okay? So don't be, bro, what are you talking about, bro? My Foot Locker isn't like that. I'm talking about mine. Listen. Go back to the front of the store, right? I remember you walked in the front of the store, what started? You look to your right, the wall. You look to the left, your wall. This wall was Nike. Nikes, Nike, and it blended into Jordan. Then it blended into kids' sneakers. That's how it was. I got the pictures right here on the screen, the graphics. I had to take actual pictures of this because I was just appalled. When you walk into the store, you look to the right, it is Hoka wall that blends into On sneakers, huh? I look to the left like an On wall. On that blends in the New Balance, I think. I go, oh my God, where is my time machine? I need a time machine. I may not ever go back to that store. Ever. Sounds ridiculous, sounds petty, sounds stupid, sounds like something that may not even be worth talking about. But it blew my mind when you walk into a Foot Locker. The first sneakers you see are Hoka and On. What is going on? No pun intended. You have to walk by. It felt like hundreds of pairs of Hokas and Ons in order to see Nikes and Jordans and everything else. And I go, I get it. They're probably catering to the casual shopper, the mom, the dad, the older customer who was looking for something just to buy and walk around, and I get it. But not in my Foot Locker. Don't do that to Foot Locker. Ugh. It saddened me, made me sick to my stomach. In order to show my son Nikes and Jordans and some Adidas and some Pumas, we had to be deep into the Foot Locker, in the middle and on, not the front of the store. The pictures are here in the graphics. Those are pictures I took. I didn't go to Google. That is from the entry of the Foot Locker to my right. Hoka, 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 blends into on. On this side, on, blends into New Balance. What? Hey, son, come here real quick. Let's go. We left. Don't think I'll ever be back. Not because the customer service is on point, and I'm a dramatic person. I'm on a podcast talking about sneakers. I'm being dramatic, but it legit blew my mind. It did. It blew my mind. It made me sick to my stomach. It did. Me and George have been in that store thousands of times. Weathermans, All-Star Pack, LeBron Lows, Nines, Floridians. You got Cal 4s. We've been in there. Now it's Hoka and On land. Walk out of the store. Boom. Walk out. Go down. I say, hey, let's go to JD Sports. Now, I've been in plenty of JD Sports. And I've paid attention to the feel and the structure of the store. Foot Locker, empty. Crickets. Cobwebs. House of Hoops, empty. Crickets. Cobwebs. This JD Sports was cracking. It looked like a nightclub. It was so cracking in there. Sneakers. I almost copped something because it was just cracking in that joint. It made me feel like, we back. I seen cats trying on sneakers, sitting in the seat, trying them on, walking, getting the feel. I see cats putting their old sneakers in the box and walking to the register to buy the new ones. It felt like something. Bright lights, mirrors everywhere to see your shoes, see your fit. I see cats in the mirrors taking selfies of they. I see people in the store interacting with the store. Not just the product. They're interacting with the store. The bright lights. Man, they got that store perfect for individuals who like to go in there and take a bunch of selfies and do stuff. The lighting in there is perfect. They got mirrors strategically placed everywhere. Let me tell you something. If you like to get dressed, if you like to, put on a fit, put on some clothes, there's nothing better than walking by a mirror. Just quick little check. Walk by the mirror. Quick check. Ain't nothing like that. You could do that in JD Sports. I will say the layout of the store is a little kind of funky. It's like sneakers everywhere. It's like a weird kind of maze. And I will say this too. I'm not saying bad customer service, but it's so many people in there that like when you have a store like that does bring in such a large crowd due to the attractability of your store, like it's attractive. It's going to bring you in like, you got to be able to identify your staff from your consumer. I couldn't tell who worked there and who was there to buy sneakers. They were a little bit way too casual for me. And even if you're going to be casual as a staff, all of you have to be wearing the exact casual. I saw one guy wearing like I think an Air Max t-shirt, but all of the staff has to be wearing that Air Max t-shirt. All staff in a store like that should be wearing the exact same outfit. So when I look amongst the crowd, I can identify you. But the experience of a JD Sports is dramatically better than any other sneaker store, except for Shoe Palace, right? So we go to Shoe Palace, same feeling. Now, I will tell you this, I can't identify their customers. Their staff a lot quicker than I can, other places. Walked in, very helpful. Hey, how you doing, sir? Welcome in, blah, 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 blah. But it's, again, the bright lights, the mirror, the ambiance. It provided a feeling that you don't get when you walk into a Champs, when you walk into a Finish Line, when you walk into a Foot Locker, a Chic. I don't know if Chic is still around. It doesn't provide it provides a better feeling. JD Sports and Shoe Palace are your top tier walk into a mall, in mall, walk into a store, sneaker experience. To me, I'm talking about here in Arizona. But I'll tell you this, I've never been to a bad JD Sports in other states. The Vegas one is the same way. I've never been to a bad Shoe Palace anywhere. They're all the same to me because they focus on that. They stay up to date and they're all on the exact same page. It makes no sense to walk in House of Hoops and see Blake Griffin catching an alley-oop in a Clippers jersey. You're not the House of Hoops in the house anymore. You're the house of we're just here. House of Horrors. When I walked in Shoe Palace, now I didn't buy anything at a JD Sports or a Shoe Palace because I was trying to see if my son wanted something, and I can't go into a sneaker store and be like, oh, I'm gonna cop this. I'll go into a sneaker store, look at it, and be like, let me sleep on it, and I'll leave. All right. Maybe I'll order it online or come back. I don't know. I almost bought something at a Shoe Palace because it just felt so good being in there. The lights, the mirrors, the customer service, the amount of customers, how the sneakers are set up on the wall, how it just looks. It made me want to buy something. JD Sports made me want to buy something. House of Hoops, Foot Locker made me want to leave and never come back. That's all I have to say about that. I don't even want to get into any too deeper, any too further about it because it may just start sounding ridiculous. Plus, I got other things that I got to do today and whatnot, but I am going to talk about uh two more things here, and two more things, maybe combine one more thing, and I will talk about it a little bit more because I know everybody wants to hear George's perspective on it, and I'll probably see if Don and Yuri want to come back to do that episode as well next week in studio on Wednesdays now because my son has soccer on Tuesdays. But shout out to JD Sports and shout out to Shoe Palace, man. Just a phenomenal experience. All right, so everybody saw the news. Not the actual news on TV because the actual news on TV is a show of horrors, all right? It's nothing but death and carnage and stupidity. You know what's funny when you watch the news? It's legit like floods here, murder here, fire here. Suns win, Diamondbacks lose. Murder, flood, fire, kidnapping, car crash. Today is going to be a hot day in the weather. Thanks. More murder, more. Anyways, I'm rambling. Everybody saw the news. Undefeated Fours are retroing and retroing summer of 2025 Undefeated Fours. And then you got your Wu-Tang Dunk Highs that will be retroing. It's supposedly fall of this year. Fall of 2024. I'm going to talk about the Undefeated Four first, okay? I posted on Twitter that I disagree with this, and I do, in a sense, disagree with this. But, at the same time, George and I have talked about the Undefeated Four. Don has been on many episodes talk about the Undefeated Four. We've talked about this Undefeated Four a whole lot on this podcast in our earlier episodes. We've been doing this for a really, really long time. So things like this is like insane for us to like actually be kind of looping around and talking about no longer a rumor, but a confirmation of something that has been begged to be retroed for the last 10 to 15 years. I love history. I love untouchable history. I love things that don't need to be repeated. I love the story behind it, the mystery behind it, the legend behind it. I love all that because I feel that you're gonna ruin the original stories of something once it becomes readily available to everybody. The Undefeated Four originally released in like 72 pairs. Okay, actually, let me just say this real quick. What I just said was that's the reason why I don't agree with sneakers like this coming back, especially this late. And actually, this may be the right time, but I'm going to talk about how you can really make sure that nobody can have anything bad to say about this retroing. Okay. This originally released in like 72 pairs, something like that, something low. Okay. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I really don't have a ton to say about it because I'm copying. I'm buying. I'm going to try for 2 pairs. One will be enough, but I'm going to try for 2. This pair can't come back reimagined. It can't come back different. I'm talking exact to the OG as possible as you can. But this is how this needs to be promoted to the masses. Only older cats like myself look at an Undefeated and go, "Oh, what? Let's go. Yes. The younger generation isn't, because they're like, I'd rather have the Travis. I'd rather have the Red Thunder. I'd rather have the White Thunder. They want more than just an olive green and orange shoe. There's an olive one that just came out a little while ago that people put orange laces in to sort of get that feel of an undefeated four. Younger cats wasn't putting orange laces in the olive, whatever that craft olive four that just recently came out. Older cats were putting orange laces in those. That's why. This is how you get the younger generation and the older generation. I hate coming on this podcast giving out free advice. And this is, Nike may already be planning this, but they haven't said a word about it. This isn't supposed to release until summer 2025, so they may be planning something on a campaign to really explain this and understand this, and they'll probably do some goofy sneakers app stuff and whatnot, right? This is how you draw in the younger crowd. This is how you keep the older crowd and bring them together to celebrate the reasoning for bringing back this sneaker. Some may know this, some may not have known this, some may not pay attention. This is Jordan Brand's first collaboration ever. Ever. So essentially, this sneaker, not just because of the limited availability when it originally released, not just because it's like, we always wanted a pair and now we can get a pair, hopefully. Because let me tell you something, you're going to bring this back. Everybody has to be able to get a pair, because this sneaker has a ridiculous place in sneaker history that people may not have known. This is the very first Jordan Brand collaboration of all time, ever. 72 pairs came out originally, the first one. I think it was 72 pairs. Ever. If you're into sneakers whatsoever, you need and should be able to have the very first Jordan Brand collaboration sneaker of all time, which is the undefeated Jordan 4 olive and orange, whatever. Military orange, military olive, whatever. That's how you promote this. That's how this should be presented to us. That's how this should be given to us. First Jordan collab ever. That's your ad. First Jordan collab ever. That's it. Summer 2025. That's it. Give me 2 pairs, please. I'll take them, please. You'll get 0 complaints from anybody in the sneaker community. Anybody. Nobody in their right mind who cares anything about sneakers whatsoever would have one negative thing, criticism to say about this if you promote it properly. First Jordan collab ever. 2025. Where's the line? Where's the camp out line? Where's the camp out line? I'll be there. I'll ask George this when we get there, because I know the answer. Let's talk about the Wu-Tang Dunk High. I had the same reaction about it on Twitter. I don't agree with this coming back, but I'll take a 9.5. Here's the thing about this, right? The younger group, this isn't when you make a decision to bring back something so specific like the Wu-Tang Dunk High, you're only talking to a certain group of sneakerheads. 30 may be low, but I'm going to go 30 to 70. That's your window when we're talking about Wu-Tang here. 30 to 50. The age from 30, and that's it. You're not talking to any, and 30 is generous. I really want to say 35 and up, but you're not talking to anybody below that. The youngest member, let me get this out the way first. It's fire. The issue is with a Wu-Tang dunk today in 2024 is that we've bought so many other sneakers that give the same feel of it. No Wu-Tang logos on them. We have plenty of yellow and black Jordan 1s, taxis, ochres, whatever. There is a Dunk High that's the exact same colorway blocking of the Wu-Tang one. You could get that for like $80 on StockX. Doesn't have the Wu W, doesn't have the tag on the tongue. It doesn't have all that, but it's the same thing. You got Iowa Dunk. Lowe's. I have goldenrod and black sneakers that are DS in my closet. I got tack. I have sneakers that give you the same aesthetic and feel of a Wu-Tang Dunk High. Now, me, I am not a Dunk High person anymore. Used to be. Of course, I'm gonna buy these or try for these. Of course, because I'm gonna go back to this. I'm gonna go back to that for a little bit as well. Here's the thing: the youngest member of Wu-Tang is 53 years old. I think Method Man is the youngest member of Wu-Tang. I think multiple people in the group are 53, but I think maybe RZA is 54. And I'm a huge Wu-Tang fan. Huge. We have done on this podcast top 5, top 10 albums all time, top 10 whatever. Liquid Swords is maybe to me the greatest rap album of all time, Jizza. Of all time. Liquid Swords is my shite. Okay. Jizza and RZA are two of my favorite rappers of all time. Ghostface may be my favorite rapper of all time. I love Wu-Tang. Me and the homies drove around to parties and clubs and frat parties listening to Wu-Tang. I'm a huge Wu-Tang fan. Wu-Tang may be the very first album that CD that I had ever seen sold out. And I don't mean like sold out here and I just had to go here and buy it. I mean, I could not get my hands on Triumph. I couldn't. Or, yeah, I couldn't get my hands on Triumph was the song. Whatever it's called. World Order, whatever it was. The double CD, I could not get my hands on that album. Went to Sam Goody. Oh, we ain't got it no more. Went to Virgin. Oh, we ain't got it. Went to Kmart. Oh, we ain't got it. Didn't have it. You had to wait until you finally found it or came across it. These are facts. Here's how you make the younger group care. I'm going to give some more advice, and I'm probably not the only one who's done this. You have to release these OG historic dunks in a marketing campaign about history. These pretty much have to be a pack. Nobody's going to care about these dunks once they release. Because you can't introduce something back like a Jordan 4 Undefeated and a Wu-Tang Dunk High and be limited numbers. You can't. You can't do that. You can't. Nike should have presented this as Nike is going to do a run of history of dunks. There are hundreds of dunks that have never been retroed or should be retroed in the original way that people who were there are interested in, but you have to figure out a way to get that younger group interested in as well, and it has to be wrapped up in a new and old. If they released, just like the old Jordan Brand packs, a pack, you open up one row, it's got the OG Wu-Tang in it. You open the top row, it has a new 2024 version of a Wu-Tang in it. A low top that's black, the colors reversed, or white. Nobody, young or old, nobody would have a single criticism or bad thing to say about it if you know how to wrap this up in a package and present this to the public and the community and sneakerheads correctly. You can't just drop a Wu-Tang Dunk High Classic OG and a SB and a regular Nike Dunk sportswear box. You have to treat this like it really meant something. You have to treat this like it's very important to the sneaker community. You have to show how important it is to the younger group. It don't matter how many times old heads like me talk to the young, bro, you have no idea. These were crazy. You got no idea. They're not, oh, really? Oh, sneakerhead stories about the past is equivalent to when our parents talked about us, how they used to walk, 2 miles in the rain and snow to get to school. That's equivalent to that now. Oh, back in my day when I sat inside, I sat outside in the rain to wait for this. Young sneakerheads are like, okay. You got to present this as a past and the future coming together. A new 2024 version of the Wu-Tang Dunk and the OG Dunk in a pack. You can charge us $350. We'll buy it. You can charge us $400. We'll buy it. Two sneakers, both $200 in a pack, special box, come through. I got the past and the present. Today I could wear the present. Tomorrow I could wear the past. Come on, man. Stop it. You'll get zero criticism from anybody in the sneaker community, anybody about retroing any of the old dunks if you know how to do it correctly. They're going to re-release skunks one day. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And they've already come out with a newer version of the skunk, which to me I thought was horrific. It was terrible. But they still can package it a part of history. You still got your Costin dunks. You still got a lot of these what the dunk. You still got a lot of dunks that can come out, De La's, things you could retro again. There's a lot of dunks that you can flash, Forbes, Reach. There's a lot of dunks that you can package as a present, a past, and the present coming together. A pack. We complain about prices all the time. Paying $300 for a sneaker, that makes me go, man, what? But paying $400 for two doesn't. Don't know why. I got two sneakers. That means something. A hit. That's all I'm going to say about that. They can make this work. They can make this work, but they have to care to make it work. I'm going to tell you something. And like I said, shout out to Ruby. She's always keeping me up to date on the finances of brands, Nikes, Adidas, all these additional brands, all these articles and stuff that I'm not looking at. I don't research articles and be like, oh, the stock is down on Skechers. I don't know. I don't care. There is something that I think people, I've said this, I don't know how many episodes, sneakers will never be back to what you think they were, to what they were. It can't. Our attention spans have been pulled into too many different directions to put our full energy into them. They're hanging on to nostalgia. You have to understand what nostalgia does when it comes to these retros and it comes to things like that. Nostalgia puts you in this infinite loop. It's like this. You're just in this loop. We're in this Jordan brand Nike loop like this. Retro, wait a while, retro, wait a while, retro. And it's multiple sneakers in that loop that we just go, oh, they got they about to do black cement threes again. And we just go in that rotation and we cop additional retros and back again, the black cement. It just, this loop. Some people, and this is no offense to anybody, some people are stuck in that loop in life. And I'm talking more sneaker where you're just in this loop of the same old, same old, same old. Some people have been able to jump out of the loop and then they jump back in and jump back out of it. That's kind of where I am. I jump out, jump back in, jump out, jump back in. But when I'm in the loop, I'm out of control. I can't stop buying. I'm buying when I'm in the loop. When I'm out of the loop, I'm on vacation. I'm doing family stuff. I'm doing things. I'm trying to figure out how to be better at work, how to make everybody else better at work, how to improve people's general way of life, how to be an example for them on how to be as a father, as a husband, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Nike can revive something in all people a part of the sneaker community that makes them feel good about sneakers. like makes me feel good I bought this. Not that I got them, not that I won, not that, but that like, ooh, I got a new, I got the Jordan Brand's first collaboration ever. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy that this Undefeated 4 is the first Jordan Brand collaboration ever. I have one. You can make the community, you can make new sneakerheads, you can make people feel good about it. You may not be able to get people to lose their minds about it. You may not be able to get people to fight in the streets about it. You may see the drop and decline in social media discussions about it. Like I said, like I tell a lot of people, Nike's making billions. They're not that concerned with making less money. Oh man, we made 21 billion this year. Now we're only at 19. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they love to stay at the 21 and stuff like that. But you know what Nike cares about the most is when anybody who is in the upper staff, professional exec staff of Nike, the designers, the everybody, when they go outside, they want to see everybody in Nikes. That's what matters to be them the most. The money's coming no matter what. They're getting money. Nike's not sitting around like, dang it, we need more money. Now, they want to keep the money that they're making, don't get it wrong. But what Nike wants to see is when they go outside, when they go to a basketball tournament, when they put on soccer, when they watch TV, when they go to your local mall, that they see Nikes, Jordans, and Nikes. When they go on social media, they want to see Nike trending, Jordan trending. They want to see sneakers trending. They want to see their releases trending. They want to see the hashtags. They want to see the hashtags. They want to see the retweets. They want to see that. They're going to get their money. The issue with Nike is right now, is that they're losing their cool. They're not as cool as they used to be. I saw somebody with a great tweet, post, whatever. And it was talking about how the younger generation has been more enamored and being way too exposed early on to luxury brands. These kids out here, I don't know if they're real or fake, but they're wearing Amiri jeans and $800 jeans and Balenciaga sneakers and stuff like that. They're not even trying to put in the work to get to the level to when you're supposed to be able to afford stuff like that. They're teenagers walking around trying to figure out how I can get a Chrome Hearts t-shirt. I see kids walk, I don't know if they're real or fake. When I see a teenager wearing it in Arizona, if they were in Beverly Hills, I think it was real. But in Arizona, I think it's 99.9% fake. I see a kid walking around with a Palm Angels t-shirt. A Palm Angels t-shirt about $4.30, a Casablanca t-shirt. It's not real. Could be wrong, but it's not real. What are you doing wearing that? Yo, where's just your traditional Nike swoosh hoodie? Where is that at? What are you doing with Balmain's on? What are you doing? Nike cares about going outside and seeing Nikes everywhere. They're still making double-digit billions. Like, the money is spilling in the Nike, but they want to see it. They want to feel it. They want to know that the monopoly and the domination that they've created, it still matters today in 2024, and they're going to have it in 2025, 2026. They're always the top of the charts and popularity and all that stuff like that, but there's additional things like that that matters to Nike. That's just my opinions. This is to me. You could believe it or not. You could disagree. I love conversation. I love when you disagree. I love when you agree. That's all I got to say. Let me check my notes if I wrote anything else down. I don't think that's anything else. We got a long day today. We got stuff that we got to do today as a family. I appreciate everybody who likes, subscribes, share this podcast. That's Sneak This. Pow, 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 pow.